Hey guys, what's up? This is Seb from Flatelements, and in today's screencast, I will rebuild this Spotify page with Flatsome and the UX Builder. I must apologize because I don't have my microphone with me, so the sound may be a little bit off, but I hope it all works. It's a very simple page, as you can see. It has one big hero section, it has a sticky header on top, and it has a custom footer. I will rebuild this with Flatsome, and I already installed WordPress, and I did the installation of Flatsome. And let's have a look of my basic setup. So welcome to my Flatsome page. It's just a basic installation of WordPress and I activated the Flatsome theme. This is the starting point. I already installed the circular font. It's the same font as Spotify has been using. And if you don't know the font, you have this great Chrome and Firefox extension that will scan the font for you, and if it recognizes it, it will give you the font name. So circular font is the font I already installed. Let me show you my basic WordPress setup. So first of all, the Flatsome version I'm using is 3.81. The plugins that I already installed is the classic editor. This will disable the Gutenberg editor that I don't really like. And then I have the simple custom CSS plugin. I'm using the pro version, but you have a free version as well. Just an easy way to add custom CSS. And then you have the use any font plugin. This is a paid one, but for me it's very easy to add custom fonts. Unfortunately, Flatsome is announcing that it will make it available to add custom fonts, but it's not there just yet. So let me show you the CSS that I already added. And the thing I really like about this plugin that you have a revision controller. So you can go back in time if you screw it up. So the lines of CSS that I have at the moment is just referring to the font. So it's just only for the typeface. And I installed that by using use any font. And when you scroll down, I have this line of code ready for the transparent header that you have here in Spotify. And then I have the absolute footer. I will show you how this works. So by default, Flatsome has this absolute footer on the bottom. Unfortunately, you cannot really get rid of it by going into the Flatsome theme options. It will be great to have this, but when you have this line of code, I will take away the comments and display none, visibility hidden. So let's get rid of the absolute footer. Let's refresh, and as you can see, the absolute footer is gone. So let's get started by going to Flatsome theme options and then straight to header. And the first thing we want to do is take out the top bar, because as you can see, Spotify doesn't have a top bar. So by clicking on top bar and unchecking this one, the top bar will be gone. The next step we want to do, and I always publish regularly, is to change the logo by clicking on the settings gear or going back and clicking on header logo site identity. So I already uploaded the Spotify logo in my media library. I select it. You don't really see it because it's white. So the next thing I want to do is set my header background to black. Here we go. And as you can see in the example, it has quite some transparency. So I will put it at 0.5. So the next thing I want to do is set the text color to white on a black background. And as you can see, these elements are now visible as well. So the next thing I want to do is change the logo width. Logo site identity. I scroll a little bit down and we'll put this at 130, maybe 140. Here we go. Publish. Now we can also change the height of the header. I go back, header main, scroll. Oh, here it is. Header height. I put that at 80. So publish. The next thing we want to do is change the elements. And if you're not familiar with Flatsome, it has this great header builder. You can just drag and drop what you need and what you don't need. So here on the bottom, you have not in use. And if you drag and drop these things out and the top bar, as you can see, sometimes Flatsome is a little bit buggy. So I'll publish, refresh, because I set up the black background, but I don't see it anymore. But anyway, it's back. So I will drag these things out to the not in use section. And this is the one we do see, header main. And it refers to the search icon. Main menu is this one. And then we have account, that's this one, and cart. So the only thing we need is the main menu, and I will drag it to the right, because as you can see, it's on the right side. We can take out the search icon, the account, and the cart. And for these two, I will use two buttons. Here we go. Button 1, go, and button 2. So let's set these ones up by clicking on them or on the settings gear. And here you can change, I think it's login, or is it sign up first? Sign up is first, sign up. And then you need to set it up, or you need to set it to link and to plain. And as you can see, it's white now. You can see it. And I need to set it to a size large. Voila. And so the next thing is button 2. And sometimes when you click on it, on button 2, you don't see the settings because you need to scroll a little bit down and then you have button 2. So login is the second one. And I will make these the same as the button 1. So the settings will be the same. I will put it at plain, link, large. Here we go. There is a little bit of CSS that I already add to my custom CSS file, because by default, these buttons are uppercase. And you don't have a setting here and saying lowercase, unfortunately. So the Flatsome team, if you see this, please add the lowercase option here as well. So the next thing we want to do is assign a menu. I will go out of my Flatsome team options, WordPress, appearance, menus. I already add a menu called main menu, and these are the 3 links. As you can see, premium, help, and downloads. The only thing what I need to do is assign, so I'll need to set the display location to main menu. Here we go. Save. I will see the result, and here you are. So let's style the main menu by going Flatsome, Team Options, Header, Header Main. And when you scroll a little bit down, you can set the uppercase or uncheck uppercase to make it lowercase. Here we go. We set the nav size to large as well, same as the buttons. And then we put the nav spacing to extra large to give that extra space between these elements, as you can see. So publish, looks really good already. So the next step we want to do is make it the mobile the same as the Spotify preview. You can set it up by going to header, header, header mobile, and here we can do some settings. As you can see, nothing's really changing, but when you're clicking on the mobile tablet view, you can see how it looks on mobile. And now you can see the result by setting the logo position to the left. And what's also really nice about the header builder is you can set different elements regarding to the device. So for desktop, we have our main menu and 2 buttons, but on mobile, we have some different elements. So top bar we're not using, so we take out the HTML1. The cart, we're not using any WooCommerce or e-commerce. We only need this nav icon. I will drag it to the right, and now it looks the same as Spotify. Unfortunately, you only see a kind of a tablet view, but you have this WordPress icon, or I mean by default, WordPress has this availability to switch. And now I can also see how it looks on mobile. Another thing you want to do is when you click on this one, the mobile menu comes from the left to the right. But what we want to do is that it comes from the right side. So menu overlay, right side. So now it will come from the right side. And when you scroll a little bit down, the only thing that we want to see is the main menu. The other ones, we will just disable and hide them. So now you will only see our main menu in our mobile menu. I think this is our basic setup now. Let's also set up our colors. Let's go back. Style, colors. And actually the only colors that we will be using is black and green. So I need to know this color. Here we go. What it is. And I'm using Chrome, and what I did is I inspected the element and I take a look a little bit in the CSS, and there we have the green color. Here we go. And the primary will be black. Secondary, I will make it green. And when you scroll down, I will make the base color black as well. And this means actually the text, but as you can see, it's all white text, so you won't really see that on our demo or on our screencast. But I will just by default set the base type to black, headline color to black as well. And all the links are actually, well, you don't really have a link color, but I will put it at black as well. Just let's see how that works as a reference point. Publish, going back, global styles. And this is a nice thing because you can set the global button radius. And as you can see, we actually only have one button, but makes it easy. It has a border radius of, well, 500 pixels. Let's see, 500 pixels. Let's do that as well. Publish. I will go back. Typography. Let's disable Google fonts because we only set our own custom font, circular, so we disabled that. Custom CSS we don't need, so that's that. So we're ready now. I set it up the theme options. I will go out, and we're now ready to create this massive hero section. So the first thing we want to do is set up a page. So going to WordPress, pages, add new, home, publish. Let's make sure that by default our page is selected. So not showing our latest post, but the home page needs to be the home page we just created. Save changes, and let's see the result. So it's working. We don't have content yet, so let's go into our UX builder. And we will be using the section element. I don't like the banner elements because it does strange things, resizing all the fonts and the buttons. So for now, we will go for a section. Clicking on Add Element, searching for section, and we will just use the preset default. And the first thing we do is set the image background. So here we go. I already uploaded the image to our media library. Use this image, and as you can see, it's not stretching fully to the left and the right. It's just a basic setting that you need to change, template, and we will put it at transparent header light text. And as you can see, we are missing the black background here of the header. And in the beginning of the screencast, I told you that I added a little bit of custom CSS to make this work. I will go to WordPress, custom CSS, general. And then when I scroll down, here you have the line of code that says, also the header transparent needs to have a background color with a 0.5. So I will take out the comments, update. And when you now take a look at the page, you see it's working. Let's go into our UX builder again. And let's put a row with one column to get some more content in there. So add to section, row, one column, because we only have one column here. And then inside the column, we will add some text. So text. And then we need to have the headline, music for everyone. Apply. H2 is good for me to work with now. And then we have a subline, and we make that H4. Millions of songs. No credit card needed. That's a good thing. Apply. You can see it. It's a little bit difficult to see now because we need to have a little bit more padding. So we'll go to section. When I scroll down, as you can see, I can just drag and drop this padding to see the result. And as you can see also, the text is black. And you here, let's put it at 100 pixels for now. Apply, update. And the section, when you scroll a little bit down, we can change the color of the text by putting it to light. And as you can see, it's visible now. Now the next step we want to do is center align all these elements. And this is actually a column setting. So when I go to row, column, I can set the text align to center. So this is working. Because we have a header height of 80 pixels, I want to have, I think that works the best, add a gap of 80 pixels to my section. So add to section, gap 80 pixels, because that's the height of our header. And let's drag that on top of our row. So this is working. Next step, we put in the button here, get Spotify free. So I can just, put the mouse here, click on plus, button, apply. And we set up the green color as our secondary color. So I can just say secondary. What's the text? Get Spotify free. Get Spotify free. Unfortunately, we set the button font or the text transform to none. So everything is now going lowercase. But to make it easy for me, is we set get Spotify free all in uppercase. Update. As you can see, there's a little bit more gap, or there's a little bit space between those elements. So I can just add to column gap. And I think 10 pixels is more than enough. Then I will drag it between the text and the button elements. Here we go. This is working. I think it can even be 20. Here we go. So the next thing we want to do is make it massive, so large. And you could do this in the CSS, or you could do this inline CSS. So to make things easy, I will put it inline by saying style is font size. And let's put that at 350%, something like that. Or 400. Let's put it at 400. And as you can see, this font weight is a little bit less than the massive font weight of the Spotify page. But for now, we'll just continue. And as you can see, automatically it has this margin button that is set up by default. So I can just also say margin button 0 pixels. So we don't have that space between our headline 2 and our headline 4. So this looks pretty good. The only thing is, and that's a bit tricky, but as you can see, this hero section has a full height. So it's stretching all the way down to my browser height. This is a thing in the banner settings. If you're using a banner element, here we go. It's an easy way, I will show you. You can set in the settings, you can set the height to full. So it's stretching all the way down. And unfortunately, you don't have that in our section. You can only say the padding or a minimal height. But you cannot put 100%. It's not working. So what we want to do, and I think this is the easiest way, is I will go out. And there's just a little bit of CSS here added to the banner element. And that says, let me see, is full height. And this makes it possible to stretch it fully. So I will copy paste this. Here we go. Go into my UX builder again. And I will take out the banner. And I will go to section. And I hope this doesn't get too technical. But here on the when you scroll all the way down, you can add a class is full height. Here we go. I'm just using the same CSS class of the banner. And that makes it possible to have it stretched fully out to the bottom. So we fixed that. It looks really good already. Let's see how it works on mobile. Not too bad either. The only thing is when you're increasing the font size, it's not really doing the right thing for the line height. And to make this very easy, we will just put line height. Here we go. 100%. And then it does the job for me. We can even put the margin button now at 10 pixels. Or 5. Oh. And this should be enough. And let's get the button. We make that in the size large, because I think it's a little bit bigger, as you can see. So apply, update. And it's working now. It looks good. And I think it's a good starting point now to continue with the things that is below our hero section. So let's have a look at the Spotify footer. This is quite a custom thing if you want to make this with Flatsome. And I already recreated the footer. I made it available at flatelements.com. It's my own project where I make elements for other Flatsome and UX Builder users. And when you go to freebies, I made this footer specifically available for free. So you can just copy paste the shortcode and make it happen. In this little part of the screencast, I will show you and teach you how to set up a custom footer. So we don't have a footer yet on our project, but let's go into WordPress and let's make it happen. UX block, add new, and we create a custom block called custom footer. Here we go. And then we copy paste the UX shortcode. Here we go. And we make sure we in the text view, not the visual view. We copy paste the shortcode, update, and let's see how it looks. As you can see, it's all here, but it's not really styled the way we need to have it, like here. So we also need to have a little bit of CSS. So we copy paste this shortcode as well. We go back and we will use the custom CSS plugin to get it in there. There's also another way to add custom CSS. It's theme options, style, custom CSS, and then you can add the CSS as well. So let's add the little line of custom CSS, update, go into my UX blocks again and view. And now you can see it looks quite the same. The last step that you need to do is set up your custom footer in the theme options. So Flatsome, theme options, footer. Here we go. Let's close this one. And you can set your custom footer block. Here we go. We select custom footer, publish. And when you scroll down, it's here. So now we can just edit it and make it the same, more or less, as Spotify. It's quite the same because I rebuilt it. And now I can just click on edit block with UX builder. I can change the logo because it needs to be the logo of Spotify. Here we go. And then company communities useful links. It's all here. So company communities useful links. The only thing is that it's not the same is that it's for artists. Here we go. And these are just buttons to make it very easy. You could also work with widgets and set up a navigation inside your widgets. It makes it easier when you're doing translations or let clients change things when it comes to the pages. But for now, we will work with buttons to make things easy. So let's duplicate this one as well. And we're almost there. Vendors. So the bottom links, I won't do them all. It's not needed. And we have a language switcher. I will skip that part for now as well. I will change Flatelements into Spotify. And I did all the responsive stuff already. It's the same as Spotify does it. So it's actually already here. So let me just explain you a little bit how this works. So I set up a section, and inside the section there's a gap, and that's the gap here on top. And then we have a row, and inside the row we have an 8 and a 4 column that makes the difference between this 8 column width and the 4 column width. And then we have another row, and that is the bottom links with the copyright and some privacy links. So it's all there. It's all working just fine. And I can just update and close it. So that's how easy it is to, import things from Flatelements. And we just rebuilt it. It's working and it looks more or less the same. So guys, let me know what you think. Leave your comments or leave your, your remarks or questions in the comments below. I will, make more rebuilds, create more elements. I love to do this. Yeah, well, have a good one.